Let's talk about something that every single XRP holder has asked at least once. How do you actually price XRP? Is it the number of transactions on the ledger? Is it the liquidity moving through RippleNet? Or is it something else completely different? Because just recently, Ripple's Chief Technology Officer, Schwartz, the man who literally helped build the XRP ledger, gave an answer that caught the entire community off guard. He basically said the value of XRP isn't in the ledger at all, and it's not in the current on-chain activity. It's in what people believe will happen in the future. And that single idea that price equals belief, not usage, completely changes how we understand XRP's true value. So in today's video, I want to break down exactly what Ripple CTO David Schwartz said, why it matters, how this perspective could reshape the narrative around XRP heading into the next bull cycle.
I am not a financial advisor. This video is based solely on my opinion on what I'm personally doing in this market. I also want to let you know that some of the links below and in the descriptions are affiliate links, meaning I may get a commission, but it will be at no extra cost to you. Please remember that under no circumstances will I ever contact you and ask you for investments. You can confirm all of my real social media handles in the description and also at milkshakematty.com. This content is for educational and entertainment only, and I'm not a financial advisor.
Before we dive into the analysis, let's take a quick look at what the market stand right now. Bitcoin is hovering around $109,500. We've seen a rally after that pullback earlier this week. Ethereum is now holding steady around $3,800, showing signs of accumulation after the latest pullback. And XRP, our favorite topic, is trading around $2.49 at the time of this filming. Not a breakout yet, but also not rolling over. For me, it feels like the calm before the next storm. Let's get into what exactly David Schwartz has actually said. This story comes straight from News BTC, and it was also published on TradingView, highlighting comments from Ripple CTO David Schwartz about how to properly value XRP. For anybody new here, Schwartz isn't just an executive. He's one of the original architects behind the XRP ledger. When he talks about XRP's fundamentals, the community listens. The question he was responding to was simple but profound. How do you price XRP? Most assume it's about activity, the number of transactions, the total liquidity, or the size of cross-border flows through RippleNet. But Schwartz pushed back hard on that. He said that's not where value really comes from. Not right now anyway. So here's the first big quote that Schwartz said. He said this: "The funny thing is that I think most of the value of most cryptocurrencies come from expected future speculation. What people think will happen is much more important than what has happened." He's saying that the entire crypto market, not just XRP, is largely driven by speculation about the future, not measurable fundamentals today. And honestly, he's right. Markets move on expectations, not confirmation. I talk about the fear and greed index all the time. The fundamentals of XRP don't change just because we head into the fear zone. But when we head into the extreme fear on the fear and greed index, price comes back. So it's a hint to what he's saying. And it's something that I talk about all the time, but so many people don't want to listen because they believe the fundamentals are more important. It's why we see rallies before announcement and dumps after good news, because traders price in the future before it arrives. So when people say XRP's ledger isn't doing enough transactions to justify a high price, they're missing the point. Schwartz is saying this: the market doesn't price XRP based on what's happening now. It prices it on what investors believe will happen later. That means today's price is a collective bet on future adoption. Just like Amazon was valued like a tech giant before it ever turned a profit, or Tesla before mass production, XRP's valuation is based on expectation. If the XRPL becomes critical infrastructure for banks, governments, and payment systems, XRP's price will reflect that belief long before it's fully realized. Schwartz continued and he said this: "It's not even based on expected future utility. It's based on the expected future speculation. I want to believe utility matters. I really do." That's a brutally honest admission. The man behind XRP's design admits that speculation still dominates. Utility means real use, payments, settlements, liquidity bridging. Speculation means belief that others will buy later. Crypto's still in its teenage years. It runs on emotion, narrative, and hype cycles. It runs on fear and greed. Schwartz isn't dismissing XRP's purpose. He's describing reality. And that reality means when sentiment flips bullish, price can accelerate much faster than the fundamentals. Schwartz pointed out something that most forget. XRP is the only asset on the XRPL with no counterparty risk. Every other token is issued by someone, a bank, a gateway, an institution, and can be frozen or changed at any time. But XRP itself, it's native, it's independent, and it's permissionless. That's why it's the ideal bridge asset. If and when the XRPL becomes essential infrastructure, XRP becomes the grease that keeps the system flowing, capturing value organically because it's the one trust-free token that can move between all the others. He also described the XRP ledger as a public good, not a toll road, meaning it's not designed to extract fees or rent like many chains. It's open infrastructure, free, efficient, and decentralized. That's actually bullish long term, because once something becomes essentially public infrastructure, it gains value retrospectively. Think of it like the internet protocols. It's the stuff that runs the internet. You can't buy shares in TCP IP, but if you could, they'd be priceless today. That's the same dynamic Schwartz sees for XRPL and XRP. So how does this all fit together? I see three phases in XRP's value journey. Phase one is speculation. That's now. Price moves on belief and narrative. Phase two is the transitional period. Utility begins merging with speculation. Banks and protocols start using XRPL. Liquidity grows. And phase three, utility. XRPL becomes critical infrastructure. And XRP demands become structural, not emotional. I believe we're currently somewhere between phase one and phase two. And that's where the biggest opportunities usually lie. Some took Schwartz's comments as a bearish signal, thinking he meant XRP has no value. He didn't say that. He's describing where we are on the adoption curve. Every technology goes through 4 stages: narrative, speculation, adoption, and maturity. Crypto is still at stage 2 and 3. Speculation is fuel. It funds innovation, attracts builders, and keeps ecosystems alive until utility arrives. So in truth, speculation is the first stage of success, not failure. History repeats itself. Gold's value started as a belief, not a utility. The internet bubble in the 90s was pure speculation, yet it financed the infrastructure we use today. It's the same story here. XRP already sits as the intersection of finance and blockchain with RippleNet, partnerships, and CBDC pilots. But global adoption takes time, regulation, and trust. Speculation bridges that gap, and that's what the CTO is acknowledging. So what does this mean for investors? People like me and you. Don't mistake low on-chain activity for failure. Crypto markets are forward-looking. Belief creates liquidity, and liquidity brings developers. Developers build use cases, and then utility finally locks in value. Schwartz's message was belief precedes fundamentals. Hold with clarity, not emotion. Price equals belief. Money is a story we all agree on. Gold, fiat, crypto, all work because of a shared belief. So when Schwartz says price isn't in the ledger, he means the tech can be perfect, but without collective faith, it's invisible. That's why community, narrative, and conviction matter. And that's what the Wolfpack has always been about. Trading conviction, not noise. Meanwhile, globally, we're seeing digital currency pilots, tokenized assets, and new payment corridors emerging every single week. Institutions move slow, but belief scales fast. Once markets see momentum, they rush in. That's when speculation turns into adoption. The exact transition Schwartz is pointing to. If speculation drives early value, sentiment will drive the next bull run. As Bitcoin halving supply shock plays out and altcoins catch fire, attention will flow back to the projects with real narratives. And XRP's story, regulatory clarity, real partners, proven tech, is one of the strongest in my opinion. So when that flood of capital looks for credibility plus upside, XRP will be the front of the line in my opinion. If you love discussions like this, where we cut through the noise and look at what actually drives the market, come join the Crypto Wolfpack. We track XRP, Bitcoin, alt trends together daily. There's a link in the description, or you can go to milkshakematty.com. When people ask, why isn't XRP higher? They're assuming price should reflect today's utility. But as Schwartz has reminded us, price reflects tomorrow's belief. The ledger's perfect, but value lives in confidence. And when confidence finally meets global adoption, the move will be historic. Until then, patience, preparation, and conviction is what is needed. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and share it with somebody who still doesn't get how XRP is valued. Remember, the price isn't the ledger. It's in the belief. And belief, that's where we're all going to thrive. So if you'd all be so kind to go and hit that subscribe button, help my channel move forward, and remember, the strength of the wolf is in the pack.